Why, hello there, and welcome to the climbing guide for Nalcan Hill here in Albury, New South Wales, right on the border. I swore that I did this guide many years ago, but it might have also been on my previous YouTube channel, which got hacked, and that's why I've started what was Fat Bikes and Beer, then became Through an Amateur's Eyes, and is now Jaeger Dynamics. So this first part is the goat track. So the goat track is a green grade cross-country loop, very small, and I really like the opening. They've definitely smoothed it out and reprofiled the opening here, which has definitely made this part a lot flowier and faster. But yeah, this is the climbing guide if you want to cross-country your way up. Because in saying that, you can just take the fire road all the way up, and that will get you to Dirt Luge, No More Secrets, Castle, and Terminated. So the kids track goes off to the left. We're going to continue on the Blue Goat track. And of course, being a descending video and not wanting absolute potato image quality, we do have Jaeger out in use for today. Everything's set in the slack setting, so that's quite nice. What I'll do is I'm going to cut forward to the next part where things get a little bit interesting. So still on the blue version of the goat track. This is a relatively newish feature as far as I'm concerned, because that used to be a very rocky sort of brick armored climb that really took it out of you. So to replace it with those plastic grate things I love so much at Buller, relatively appreciated. But then previously before that, there's been a lot of reprofiling and restructuring of certain corners, making it a lot easier to climb, even being slightly out of breath and a little bit unfit. I could be on pretty good pace for a PB thanks to how tame these corners are now. Okay, as we round this corner, you can go down to the left or up and over there for some cheeky quick ways down. So if you just want to do the Blue Goat version, then that's fine. But otherwise, that was a junction that gets us into the next part of the climbing trail, Intestines. So this was the second Intestines I was ever introduced to. First obviously being a Wagga, and this is definitely a technical grade climb. So unlike the previous two where it was like a blue flow and a green flow, I'm not going to be surprised if my nemesis of a corner will trip me up. Oh, here we go. This is where things can get a little bit nasty as I pedal strike, and I've only ever gone it once, and probably if I shut my mouth for 10 seconds I might have been able to navigate that last bit of a cleft, but unfortunately I put my strongest foot, my right foot, forward, and that was going to contact the rock and cause me to break anyway. So not much of the Intestines to go. That right there is the road climb. So if you want to avoid all the cross-country goodness, you just take that sucker straight to the top. But I'm not much of a fan of road climbs. As short as convenient as it would be, that fire road can be fairly steep in sections and just not overly enjoyable. So I'd prefer to just have a little bit of fun on this cross-country climb, go through some corners and switchbacks, and yeah, just not suffer. But if you've got an e-bike, or you just want to get to your downhill laps faster, you just hook straight in to that fire road climb. Another exit potential there. Things will last a little bit of a stretch of intestines before we eventually do hit the fire road and are forced to use it to climb. And here's the fire road. So you can cross straight there, and that will take you into the lower 2/3 of dirt luge. But you will lose the top, where you can have some of the most fun on the technical part, but the lower part comes down to flow and a bit of free ride. So once again, I'll cut forward because nobody here needs to hear me panting going up the fire road, okay? So this is the ridge. Off to the right are the rest of the cross-country trails. So I think there's like one called Penguin, Mineshaft. I don't know, it's very rarely do I take the ride at the ridge, but when you're after dirt luge, no more secrets, Terminator, you come up to the left here, and there's this little bit of a fire road, and you'll start to see the splits. So this has been your climbing guide on how to get up to dirt luge, no more secrets, and Terminator. So time to go on to the descending, guys. Until next time, keep riding, stay awesome.